Adam Collins, Mike Hussey, this is Cricbuzz Chatter at the end of what became quite a fascinating and captivating final day. We thought it would end on the earlier side. It certainly didn't do that. It dragged into the 15th session, the final session of the test. A bewildering end really, with Jos Buttler standing on his stumps, and then the last man out was James Anderson. 5 wickets for Jai Richardson for the first time in test cricket. I reckon they might have found one in jumping Jai. He threatened the first time as an Australian player, had that shoulder surgery. He's a very good cricketer.
Oh, he certainly is. He's a great competitor and good reward. You know, he bowled well in the first innings without getting any reward, and I know that would have stung him a little bit, but he came out and bowled beautifully in the second innings. 2 early wickets, picking up both openers. Then he had a spell in the middle there where things didn't seem like they were going to plan for him, but bounced back again afterwards. And once he gets that bit of a taste, he's just like a bull at a gate, really, and he just wants it. So, yeah, fantastic reward for him, but I think he was well supported by a lot of the other bowlers as well. Stark bowled beautifully again. Nathan Lyon did his job. Cameron Green chips in as well, as did Michael Neser. So I think it was a real good team effort.
Yeah, working as a pack, they were all in the book really, with the exception of Cameron Green, all the frontline bowlers. Stark brilliant once again, crucial wickets at crucial times. Stark, pink ball, Nathan Lyon, Adelaide Oval. I mean, England in some respects batted quite bravely to get as deep as they did, and Jos Buttler especially batting for more than 200 deliveries for about 26 when he hit his stumps with his foot in the final session. But to that point, to think this guy's got a 50-ball century in international cricket and can shift gears like that, that's AB de Villiers-esque.
It was amazing to think, just, you know, literally weeks ago, Jos Buttler was playing in the T20 World Cup, trying to hit every ball out of the park and doing it pretty well, and then he's here in a test match trying to save it and batting in that manner. It was an amazing effort. You've got to give a lot of credit to England. You know, we said last night, their guys are proud people. Yep. Proud country, proud players. You know, they were going to fight, and they surely did fight. You know, Ben Stokes, he got stuck in there again. Wokes was fantastic, as was Buttler, but it was always going to be a tough ask for England to bat through the whole day and night and get there. But I'll tell you what, they made Australia really fight for it, and what importantly, even though they went down in the test match, they kept Australia on their feet for probably another session than what Australia wanted to be. So that, you know, you never know. It might take its toll on the bowlers as the series wears on. Marginal
gains, always a big thing in a 5-test match series. That partnership between Wokes and Buttler was 31 and a half overs. There would have been moments, remember, of course, Stokes has gone in the first session. Ollie Pope's gone in the first quarter of an hour. They nearly get Buttler out on 0, if not for an ill-considered moment from Alex Carey, who should have dived in front of first slip but elected not to. But then, this partnership, seemingly from nowhere, we thought we'd be going home at the dinner break, recording this under sunlight. Not to be. Chris Wokes, maligned for his record away from home. It is hefty in terms of runs per wicket that he offers up. But with the bat, he still offers something to England, making 44 and top scoring today, at least for the visitors, alongside Jos Buttler. He did give them pause for a moment to believe they could actually achieve this.
He showed character, and that's why he's so highly regarded in this English team. You know, we know what he can do with the ball. You know, he's good in that respect, but he can also score some handy runs. I honestly thought once Australia got Ben Stokes, things were going to happen pretty quickly for Australia. But no, you know, Wokes came in and he built a new partnership with Jos Buttler. They showed courage. They showed fight. They showed a bit of pride in what they were doing, and it was a wonderful performance. He's the kind of player where he leaves you just wanting a little bit more, almost. Even with his bowling, you think, yeah, this guy, he's so close to becoming a world-class performer. It was the same with the bat. You know, he'd done all that hard work, got to 40-odd, batted a long period of time. Could he just bat for another hour and you know, inch England closer to safety? And then he got out just at that wrong time. So, you know, it's disappointing for him, but I thought he showed great character out there.
Just quickly, before we move off the topic of Jos Buttler and his dismissal, did you ever get out hit wicket in your career?
I actually did once. It was in a county game facing Wasm Akram, so I was hanging right back on the crease. So yeah, it's not a good feeling.
All right, Huss, let's go into the hot spot. In the hot spot, first of all, England team selection going forwards. Rory Burns under an enormous amount of pressure, albeit after 34 yesterday. How would you shuffle the England pack ahead of Melbourne?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussions going on behind closed doors. I feel as though they need to make some changes. You know, they've been totally outplayed in the first 2 test matches. It's not really working for England. The balance doesn't seem to be right. So starting at the top of the order, the openers aren't getting the job done. So I think they need to make one change there. Which one, we can debate all we like. I thought Burns actually looked pretty good in the second innings here. Is that enough to keep his place? I think Hamid's hung in there and he's done okay, but he hasn't been able to go on and score that big score. He looks, you know, like he can bat time, but can he kick on and make that big 100 for England? So I don't know. We need to make a change there. I think perhaps someone like a Zach Crawley could come into that position. He's tall, he's dominant, and talking to Shane Warne, he sort of says his game is suited for Australian conditions. I'd also be looking at maybe a change in the middle order. Let's have a chat about Ollie Pope. Do you bring in someone with a bit more experience like a Bairstow to come in and bat in the middle order there? Perhaps that's something they could look at as well. And then the attack, got to get the balance right. Got to get a bit more variety in that attack. I really hope they go back to Leach. I think they definitely need a top-class spinner there, or a front-line spinner, should I say. I think they need some pace with Mark Wood back into the attack as well. You don't need to keep playing all these seamers when you've got someone like Ben Stokes in the order. So I'd be going for one of Anderson and Broad, definitely Wood, definitely Leach, and then maybe you've got Stokes in there as well.
For my part, I'd bring in the guy from the BBL, Saqib Mahmood, who bowled beautifully for Lancashire this year and took 4 for a player of the match for your old club, the Thunder, last night. Pressings fast forward on the Australian front. Hazelwood, who knows? Cummins definitely back. Marcus Harris, question marks. Probably the third one is the one you can talk about with some authority because there's no speculation around injury there. It's purely form. Do you stick with the winning team or do you bring Khawaja in to replace Harris? It's a tough call.
It's a tough call. I think I would back Harris again. He looked okay. In the second innings here, he just couldn't quite, kick on and get that big score that he would have liked, and certainly taken some pressure off him. Still enormous pressure on him, and I'm sure they'll have the discussion behind closed doors. But he's going to Melbourne, which is his home ground. He knows the conditions there well. I'd back him in for one more. The team's winning, and when the team's winning and things are going well, you can afford to carry a player a little bit longer. So I'm sticking with Harris. I think just one change for me. Pat Cummins obviously comes in, and Michael Neser is the one that'll probably have to step out. Not that Michael Neser didn't do a good job, but he was the last man in, and so I think he's got to be the first man out.
A tried and true principle. Keep a winning team from Mike Hussey. This has been Cricbuzz Chatter throughout the course of the Adelaide Test match. Gee, we love this ground. Australia 2-0 up in the series. Can't wait to see you all again on Boxing Day on the segment and throughout the week on the website. Until then, stay well. Bye for now.